Hey guys, Terminator here. Thought I'd do a quick video update on where I'm at with this portable N64 project. Um, the board itself is pretty much done. All that remains is for me to cut off these controller ports and and then wire up the controller directly to the board, and also to take the jumper pack out of its enclosure and plug that in. I'll just explain this. Here's the battery that I'm using. I've got two of them, and I'm going to wire them in a, what do you call it? I'm going to wire them in series. They're each 7.4 volt batteries. They're each 2,200 mAh, so it's a total of 4,400 mAh, which should get me 3+ hours of game time, at least. And I've got that wired up to the board. And then I've got a little TI regulator right here that is a PTH08080 regulator with a 2.2K resistor and a capacitor, and that allows me to regulate the 7.4 volt signal down to exactly 3.3 volts, which is well within the range that the N64 needs to that port. The original power pack right here, see, it has 6 pins, and the bottom 3 are the ground pins. Well, I might be wrong on the positioning because it's kind of difficult to relate the two, but 3 of them are ground, and 1 is 12 volt. Let's see, actually, ground, 12 volt, 3 volt, 3 volt. Okay, so 3 are ground, 1 is the 12 volt, and 2 are 3 volts. And you only need to power one of the 3 volts because they're connected, so if you're powering one, you're automatically powering the other. So I've got the 12 volt, or the 7.4 volt going to the 12 volt, because the N64 can easily run on at least a minimum of 7.2 volts, even though it's getting a 12 volt signal, runs fine. So I've got a 7.4 volt going in there, and then I'm regulating it down to a 3.3 volt right there. Got all the negatives connected to the ground terminals. Got a little slide switch right here that I will install in the case later. Here's my screen over here. It is not currently wired to the power or to the video signal yet, so it won't be working in the video yet. I've just got this thing plugged into my TV for now. So let me go ahead and plug in the controller here. This is actually the second console that I've been working on. I believe I fried the first one. I haven't. There's really no way to prove it other than the fact that it doesn't work. But you know, it very well may be fine, and I'm missing something. But I spent about 3 hours trying to work things out, and didn't get anywhere. So I decided to scrap it and start anew. So I mean, basically this board is upside down like that, so if you flip it over here, you'll see this is basically what the work that's consisted of relocating the game ports, so that essentially you can fold the game port down like this, put it in a case, and then your game card will stick upwards flush with the case. There's like, I think 46 or 48 wires here that you have to solder on both ends. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But you can do it in about an hour if you're experienced with soldering. Yeah, this is an original. This is a 1996-1997 board, CPU-04. The one I'm working on now, I think, is a -6, so it's a slightly newer board, which is probably a good thing. So yeah, just thought I'd show you that. Here's the case in its current state. Basically, it has 2 side panel pieces that fill these gaps, and then it's closed with 4 screws. But it fits together like that. The lighting is kind of bad here. I'm going to have a joystick right here. I'm going to have a GameCube joystick. I've got a D-pad down here. I've got the A and B buttons right here, the C buttons here, and the start button here. I'm going to put little tack button switches right here and right here, and there's going to be a switch right here so that you can switch the L button between Z and L. So there's not going to be a Z button on this system. You're just going to use the L button as a Z button by switching the switch for either L or Z. And the reason for that is because the N64 controller, you cannot actually use the L button and the Z button at the same time. They go into the same, yeah, I don't really know the specifics, but I read a whole thing about it. They go into the same terminal. You know, there's a three, I'm not even going to try to explain it, but it's not physically possible for the controller signal to do L and Z at the same time. So that's one reason for it. The other reason is because the ergonomics of the controller don't really allow you to be ready to press the Z button and be ready to press the L button at the same time. There are no N64 games, not even Super Smash Brothers, that will force you to have to actively switch between the L and the Z button to a point where it's going to be a disadvantage to you. So I'm not really worried about that. So I don't think there's anything else to talk about. I don't have the heat sinks installed yet, so I don't really feel comfortable running this thing for more than maybe 2 minutes. But I just want to show you guys, you know, how it is so far. Let me move this back. I got Hydro Thunder in there right now. There you can see the console and the TV at the same time now. There we go. So I've basically got it wired up with a composite cable that I cut apart. So let's turn it on. Come on. Did I get the... Not sure if I got the signal wired in there. Oh yeah, hold on. I'm going to pause the video for a second. Something came loose. Okay, problem solved. Just had to do a quick solder job there. But anyway, alright, let's turn this thing on. There we go. So let's continue without saving. So there you go. And there's obviously no external power source here, you know, and it's this console because if I hit reset, it resets. So there you go, guys. Portable N64. I will probably not do another video update until I either have everything wired up into the case, or at least have the case prepped for getting things into it, you know, painted and whatnot. So see you guys then.